Good evening, and thank you for being with us. The COVID 19 situation has brought about many changes, and that is something that we can all attest to. The pandemic is terrible and has caused serious economic and social distress. But at the same time, it cannot be ignored that some changes are indeed for the better. If anything, there is a certain sense of discipline in the way we work now, in the way we live our lives. We are spending more time with our near and dear ones, our loved ones. The natural environment has been restored in some very resplendent ways, and it has also brought in certain opportunities. There are many more professionals now who are sharing their thoughts and experiences online, and this is an opportunity that the astute learner will make the best of. No greater are these opportunities than for students who are looking out to gain an understanding of various subjects and an opportunity to ask and get some questions answered. It is with this in mind that we bring to you the Objective Student Career Conclave 2020 by HP and Intel in association with Better Photography. This is a conclave where some of the most experienced professionals across industries address students, informing them about their fields, their secrets of success. In the sessions ahead, across the next 2 weeks, the Objective Students Career Conclave will be covering a large number of topics, large variety of subjects, and not just about photography, but on everything from writing books to having a great on screen presence. Just to set the pace for today, we have a very interesting speaker with us, Ritika Singh. She is the founder and CEO of Kontent Factory and an educator. But just before her, we have a short talk by HP. Once again, thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching. Before we move on to our main speaker for today, please let me introduce you to Divya Vaid from HP, who will be speaking about the HP Chromebook series of laptops. These multifunctional laptops are especially perfect for students, and they fit in for many other requirements as well. And Divya is here to speak about just this. So, Divya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Madhwan. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session. I hope all of you are doing well by maintaining social distancing and keeping yourself safe and healthy. My name is Divya Vaid. I feel we all have a better understanding how technology is an enabler, how it helps you gain education as well explore your creativity. So let me just make you go through some features of Chromebook which can be really useful for study or work during these times. What is Chromebook and why is it important? A Chromebook is a laptop which is based only on Google operating system. To all those who don't wish to go for Windows and just keep it simple to a browser, choose a Chromebook where it makes work much more easy because of five major USPs like speed, security, simplicity, shareable, and smart. Let's start with the first USP, which is speed. It boots under 10 seconds. No long load times, no confusing setup Chrome. OS is designed to be light and fast updates automatically in background. So it doesn't slow over time and no manual intervention. The second USP is security. Security from start verified boot performs self checks to repair any system corruptions, always ready security with built in virus protection and auto updates sandboxing. Web pages and apps run in isolated environment to prevent infection from at risk pages. The third USP is simplicity. Familiar, easy to use, No setup needed. Just log in with Google account, familiar and intuitive Chrome and Android ecosystem, 1 million plus Android apps from Play Store for work, play, create, watch, and listen. The next USP is shareable. Collaborate on a project on Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides with automatic saving of files. Connect, create, collaborate files are backed up in cloud and are available anytime across all the devices. Easily multi accounts login for everyone. Just switch the account and get the personalized experience. The next USP is smart. Learn, adapt, evolve, built in Google Assistant feature for faster and smarter work without lifting a finger or switching screens. Make Google do it, access to the Chromebook, and smart lock on the phone with local language inbuilt, work in any language. Coming to the next most impressive part, how can Chromebooks can be used for work from home as well as learn from home? Number one, by reimagine your office, Chromebooks are secure, simple, and shareable devices that help you stay productive and connected. Here are some helpful tips for working from home. Simple setup setting up HP Chromebook is easy. Simply log into your Google account to get going and access all your Google Drive files and Chrome preferences on your Chromebook. Apps that get job done. Google Pay provides access to apps for getting work done like Microsoft Word and Google Docs, as well as video conferencing apps for collaborating remotely with teams like Google Meet and Zoom. No monitor, no problem. Cast your Chrome browser tabs to Chromecast enable TV or use virtual desk to expand your desktop. Work safely from home. Chromebooks keep you and your data safe from malware thanks to multiple layers of security and automatic updates. Learn from home. Keep on learning. Chromebooks are secure, simple, and shareable devices that help you stay productive and connected. Here are some useful tips for continuing to learn and study at home. Apps for study learning. Apps, apps for study learning home and connecting with others in real time like Google Docs, Google Meet, and Zoom. Study safely from home. Chromebooks keep you and your data safe from malware thanks to multiple layers of security and automatic updates. Why Chromebooks? Special for students. World of Android apps on a laptop. A laptop that runs over a million of your favorite Android apps and more for a bigger, more immersive experience. Example, gaming apps, streaming apps, office, editing apps at certain level. Voice enabled Google Assistant works on your speech and words. Play, send mails, setups. All HP Chromebooks are Google Assistant enabled. And last but not the least, let me tell you about the extraordinary feature of Chromebook. Number one, Chromebooks work offline as well. No Wi-Fi, no problem. HP Chromebook have access to a lot of apps, work online or offline, just like any other laptop. So you can do things like edit docs with Google Docs and Microsoft Word, watch movies with Prime Video, Netflix app, download playlist with Ghana, Spotify, play games in offline games apps. Number two, Chromebooks have Microsoft Office for free. Microsoft Office is available on the Google Play Store where you can download the apps you want. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, work on Microsoft Office program free from Chrome Web Store. You can also open, edit, and save Microsoft file in your Google Drive. Number three, enough storage for all your work. HP Chromebooks come with hard drive plus cloud storage, micro SD card slot is equal to triple whammy. 64 GB SSD on board plus 100 GB Google Cloud plus 256 GB expandable micro SD whopping 420 GB space. 4. G Suite for Education. Communicate, email and VC, collaborate, edit spreadsheet, document in real time, manage, which is create classroom, distribute assignment, send feedbacks, etc. And administer, add student, manage devices, configure devices for security data. So, well, thank you so much. That's all from my side. Thank you so much, everyone, for your presence. Thank you so much for your patience listening. Thank you. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Divya, for detailing out the many features of the HP Chromebook for us. And I completely agree. Now, Google Chrome and uh, the Chromebook there's so many apps and there are so many incredible features that at this point of time I rarely see myself going to my laptop except for very intensive processes. So thank you, Divya. Our main speaker for today is Ritika Singh. In this webinar, Ritika's topic is the why of powerful mentorship. Being an educator, her talk will take the audience across the need for having a good mentor, why good mentorship is essential for any student, and very importantly, how to choose a mentor that is right for you. And of course, there's another reason why Ritika is perfect for talking about this because she is a mother to a 17-year-old. A little about Ritika Singh. Ritika is a content writer, blogger, editor, ghostwriter, digital and brand strategist. She's also an avid entrepreneurship evangelist. Creating business oriented, impactful, and relevant content is her forte. Ritika is a champion at Sheroes, the largest social business networking app for women. She's a board member of the Prasanchetas Foundation. Ritika is also the chapter lead for TIE, that's TiE Women of Chandigarh. She is also a part of the steering committee of TiE Young Entrepreneurs TYE session of 2019, a flagship event of the globally acclaimed cohort of successful entrepreneurs called TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs. Additionally, as a core team member of TEDx Chandigarh, she helps in content creation, digital marketing, and speaker curation for their annual events. She is a faculty member of CAP, that's CAP, which basically stands for the CEED Accelerator Program of the Chitkara University. Those of you who have logged in using the PMG Live In link and are directly with us on HP's microsite, you can post your questions through the Q&A tab on your screens, even as Ritika is speaking. A moderated set of questions will be presented to Ritika once she completes her presentation. So please do ask your questions. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ritika. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Madhavan, for such a lovely introduction. I am genuinely grateful for you inviting me on this platform. And I must say kudos to the entire team of HP Intel and Better Photography for creating this kind of a super initiative for young children. And like you rightly said at the beginning, that I think it's an astute student who will make sure that despite the pandemic and everything, they get to ensure that, they keep their skills alive. And as a mother of not just a 17-year-old, but of a 13-year-old as well, I tell you one thing, children, that please get out of your comfort zone. Don't let this be a way of life, because after 6 months, 8 months, when real life does hit you again, you don't want to be caught on the wrong foot. I had promised my children that I will not talk about them and I will not be a mother. Hence, I am going to now switch over to the role of an educator. Thank you so much once again to the entire team. And the topic we are going to be talking about today is is the why of powerful mentorship. Usually, mentorship is something we don't discuss at the school level or even at the college level. And this usually comes around when we start our careers as either entrepreneurs or corporate people, right? But I'm glad that, this initiative has been taken and we are talking about mentorship for young students. And before we get on to, I know the questions running in your mind, which I think Madhavan initially did mention, is what to look for in a mentor. How do you find a mentor? How do you know he's the right one for you? Before we go into all that, I think I just want to define and tell you that in my personal point of view, what exactly is a mentor? How do you define one? So a mentor is someone that you learn from willingly, responsibility, and with integrity. And your success is the only agenda that they have. When I'm saying this, I mean that there are no other vested interests that a mentor would have in you. This also, makes mommies and daddies' role as mentors go flying out of the window. But there is a reason, and as we move along my, session, you will understand why I'm saying this and how it kind of not works for most students. So having said that, defining what a mentor is, let's move on to questions about how to find a great mentor, etc. But then again, there is a small step here, which I think is extremely critical for young students to look at. And that is that before we look for mentors and we try going around finding mentors, I think it's a good idea and super important for all of us to take a step back and think that even before we do that, are we mentorable in the first place? Are you, as young students, mentorable? Are you the kind of children, or are you the kind of student who can get mentored? Now, there are a couple of questions I have put together, which every student needs to ask themselves before they can even think about looking at a mentor or the need for a mentor. Let me these are 5-7 questions. I put them together and see if you can answer these questions on your own. And these are very important because they will lead to some amount of introspection and you will know exactly where you stand. And if there is something which can be changed, do it right away. If not, then maybe you need to come back at a later stage when you have developed those so-called abilities and those traits in your personality where you can be mentored as an individual. So first question that you need to ask yourself is, do you even feel the need for a mentor? There are a lot of students who are pretty much, sure about what they're doing, where they're going, and they probably don't feel the need of a mentor. And there are students who will think that, oh, I really feel that I want one and I need one. And I think those are the first set of questions that you need to introspect and give an answer to yourself, that do you ever feel the need that you would require a mentor ever in any whichever field of your life, right? I think the second most important question is, do you take ownership for your actions? If you are the kind of child who takes ownership for your actions, then I think you are absolutely mentorable. And let me give an example. You're all young students. I'm sure at some stage in life, all of you would not have performed so well in a particular subject or a particular area of your life. So for example, there was a maths test and, you were probably a sports person. So a typical question that I would ask my 17-year-old or a 16-year-old is, oh, why didn't you didn't do very well in maths this time? And the question, that the answer that hits me right on the face is, oh mama, you know what, it was a basketball team, we had gone for a basketball match, so we couldn't do that. Oh mama, I'm a member of the school council, so teacher called me for this. Oh mama, this. And so when a child is constantly giving explanations as to why it was someone else's fault about things that were not achievable at their end, then I think that is a red flag in your getting mentored or being mentored properly. So now I think one of the second most important criteria is that for you to understand that if you want to be mentorable, you need to take ownership for your own actions. I know when I go later, questions running through your mind would be that, ma'am, agar sab kuch hum nahi karna, is this something we have to do, then what is a mentor doing? I'm coming to that part. I'm sure, you will understand it better as we move along. One of the other questions I think that you really need to ask yourself is, do you ask enough questions? So, I mean, I'm giving you a set of questions, but you need to ask more questions. So if you are the kind of child that is curious, that is always wanting to learn more, wanting to figure things out, identify people that you can ask these questions to, I think you are pretty much mentorable. So if you are the kind of student who does not ask too many questions, is probably the kind who'll say, okay, you tell me, I will do, I'm instructed and I shall perform, you ask and I will deliver, then you may have a bit of an issue somewhere. You may still get a good mentor, you may still be mentored, but you will not be able to draw enough out of your mentor, or it'll be a resource that you'll waste. One other question I think all of you need to ask yourself is how confident you are. Now, this is a sort of a question with a twist. Usually a lot of students that come to me and say that, ma'am, I'm very confident, I probably don't need a mentor. I said, no, child, that's not how it works. Because if you're not confident enough, so, there is a certain benchmark for your levels of confidence. Of course, I'm not asking you that or expecting out of you that you be super confident and just know what you're doing, you're like ace performer everywhere. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you're confident, there needs to be a base level of confidence in you to even maintain and go about building that mentor-mentee relationship, because that confidence at the end of it all, the confidence to ask questions, the confidence to interact, that level needs to be there. If you are not able to do that, again, certain you will not be able to take 100% out of your mentorship. And I think one of the critical things is, and this will decide whether you are mentorable or not, apart from other thing, is how well you handle feedback and criticism. So if you are the kind of child who is constantly irritated or annoyed or upset or angry when somebody puts asks you or tells you that, oh, this is something that you did not do right, or this did not come out well, or your handwriting is bad, or this is not right, or that, or your performance was not good enough, etc. I think it's very important that if you're not able to do that, you're not ready to be mentored yet at all. So, and these are all stages in our lives. I'm not saying that all of us need to be doing that. I think it's a very simply put thing that if you have these questions answered in the positive, now please go ahead, you are ready for mentorship. If not, wait a while, it's okay, wait for another 6 months, develop these qualities, figure out where you are missing, and then go ahead looking for a mentor. And apart from this, yes, one of the other things that you need to be flexible and open-minded. If you're the kind of person who's constantly thinking, no, what I'm saying is correct, what I'm doing is correct, how I'm doing it is absolutely fine, then you probably don't need a mentor in the first place. So these questions that I've just run you past are, I think, 6, 7 of them, and you need to make sure that the answers to most of them are positive. And then the rest you can probably learn along the way, skill yourself a little bit. And this is just to create awareness about yourself as a person. Then you get to know whether you're mentorable enough. So if you have these sorted pretty much, I think we can now move to the next part of my session, which is when do you actually need mentoring? So usually we require mentors for either a specific project in our lives, or a specific time, or for a specific purpose, or a combination of these 2 or 3. That is how I look at it. These are my personal points of view. I'm sure as you grow up and move along and live your life and keep progressing the path on your career, personally, professionally, all of that, you will find your own definitions. You will keep figuring out things that have worked for you, that have not. I have had a mentor in my life at a very late stage in life. So these are things that I have put together. I'm 45 years today. I found my first mentor at the age of 38. And how my life is completely changed, I will come to that as I move along my session. So if you have a specific project, either a specific for a specific purpose and for a specific time, you are probably in need of a mentor. One thing that you need to understand. The next part of my session will talk about what to look for in a mentor. What exactly are we looking for? And I'm sure this is one of the most frequently asked questions. Madhavan will agree with me there, that I think almost all students want to know, ma'am, how do we know whether this is the right mentor for us? What am I supposed to look? So here, children, I'm going to talk about, especially mommies and daddies also need to listen to this, and other stakeholders, that what is it? And this is across ages for everybody. even as an individual, I'm 45 years old, it's probably true for me as well. And that is, first things first, you need to be able to draw that kind of respect for your mentor, which means that if you do not respect, now let's say we all have those crazy teachers in school, with due respect to all teachers, you all have those one-off things, the teachers you probably don't get along with, or they don't understand you, or they have a different methodology of teaching which is not appropriate for you, so hence there is a gap somewhere. Those teachers or people in your life cannot be your mentors, simply because you don't have respect for them. And I don't mean respect as in disrespect, but respect for their craft, or respect for their professional and personal standing as on today. It is not about wishing a teacher, saying good morning, good afternoon. That is not what I call respect. Respect is something that comes from within you, that say, wow, this is somebody like I want to be and aspiring. You actually like those people, right? Those are critical things to first start off looking for a mentor, that if you have to have respect for them, and that needs to be inborn. It cannot be generated at a later stage. So that first vibe, that first thing when you connect with the mentor needs to be there, that respect for them is there. And also, I think most importantly, you need to have a shared value system. When I say a shared value system, it means similar patterns of thinking, vis-a-vis somebody who has a completely different way of looking at the world, completely different way, because they don't set with your own value system. This is something that I tell young children, that whenever you are looking out, even friendships, even friends at young ages, it doesn't matter what kind of a social or financial background, but if you have a shared value system, things that are right for one family are right for the other too, and parents at both sides agree. I think those value systems is what I'm talking about here, that if you have a shared value system with your mentor, that may be a perfect fit for you. Right. And it doesn't really matter about social, financial backgrounds beyond the point. It really doesn't. But yeah, this is one of the things. And I think another very important thing that you all need to look for is your mentor needs to be a visionary. They need to be thinking out of the box, and they would have proved it. And you would have probably interacted with them at multiple times, known them, heard them, worked with them in a particular project or a certain situation. They have to be visionary. They need to be thinking out of the box, where they're not just talking about what is happening here at the moment, but they have a sort of global vision for the future. Those are the people that I call visionary. It kind of helps for me particularly. I think what works is, which it's a phrase that I use a lot many times, is people like that in your life bring the outside world in. Even though you have the internet, but the internet right now, especially for you children, there is so much of information that is actually an information overload, right? So what a mentor will do is they will bring out the best pieces which are available out there, and the ones which are more applicable to you or are relevant to you, and they kind of act as filters of that information out there. So I always believe that, be with people, interact with people who bring the outside world into you, which means that you are in your little cocoon with your thought processes, your perspectives, your way of life, and somebody from there would come and give you a completely different perspective, right? I think another important thing that a mentor should have is faith, and faith in you. If you have a person who's constantly deriding and telling you that, this is something that you can't do, I don't think this is achievable, I think of course, in a way that it doesn't mean that, when somebody is saying, oh, this cannot be done, it means they are being, they don't have faith in you, but they're just probably being practical. But when I'm talking, from a larger perspective here, to say that if constantly somebody is telling you that, oh, I don't think you will be able to do this, I don't think you can do this, I don't think when it comes to you, I think that is a big cross that you need to put on that particular name when you're looking out for a mentor. They need to have faith in you. And also, again, one of those things that they need to have the time. They could be visionaries, they could be great personal professional achievers, they could be standing out, they could be rock stars, they could be anything. But if a mentor does not have the time, and I mean it in a good way, I don't mean it in a bad way, they could genuinely be off time, that they don't have the time to mentor, or they don't have time to take you seriously, or they don't have time. I think that again is a big thing, because all of their perspectives, the knowledge, the sharing, all of that will not happen if there is not enough time to interact connect and listen to each other patiently, both sides. Even you need to listen to them, they need to listen to you. So another thing is that they need to have patience. And of course, accessibility. You don't want to be in a situation where it takes you 3 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe 5 days, 10 days to get in touch with your mentor. I mean, you of course will be respecting their time, and that is again critical at your part. But at the same time, there has to be some kind of a shorter way to connect with them, even if it's a WhatsApp message, or it is a phone call, or it is an email. I think they need to have accessibility. They need to be accessible to you. You may not have to go through 5 appointment stages to finally get to speak to the man or woman, for that matter. So that is, I think, essentially one of the some of the most important things. Adding on to that, they need to be experts. It goes without saying, because if you're looking for a certain goal or a purpose that you want to achieve vis-a-vis a mentor, they need to be experts in that field. Sometimes in life, what happens, children, especially when you're younger, you are easily mentorable, because there are a lot of gaps. There are a lot of things that, by sheer experience, by sheer age, these thing mentors will be able to add value, not to your professional life or a particular purpose or agenda that you have, but also to your personal life. Because young ages, I think our personal and professional lives are more or less, overlapping each other quite a lot. Now we learn to, over a period of time, we learn to kind of, separate the two, and they say, okay, this is my professional life, this is my personal life. But younger students, younger children, there is a usual overlap. So you need to watch out for that and make sure that, when we say they're experts, they usually will walk into your personal lives as well. So there has to be tremendous amount of trust, also a factor that you need to make sure that you trust these people, and talking to them is a safe place for you. That is very, very, very important. And I think one last thing that I would usually say, I can go on, some of them are, assets of mentors that you are no-brainers, but these, I believe, are critical. And if there is a cross on any one of these, you probably need to cross the mentor out. One of the most important thing is feedback abilities, capabilities. When I'm saying that, it means that, see, it's very easy to tell someone that this is not right. Right. But the way you say it, and basis the kind of personality you are as a child, is extremely important. Look at yourself. Look at a situation where you are in school, you have a teacher. I think a lot of us as students, as younger students, even as adults, don't mind, being criticized. But I think the way it is being said, the choice of words, the audience it is said in front of, those things kind of have a bigger weightage in how we react and how we feel about that particular piece of criticism. It's the same thing. A teacher telling you in class, oh, you don't understand math, you will never get good marks in maths. That vis-a-vis a teacher who calls you on the side to the staff room and says, child, you need to start working hard on your math, you are lagging behind, some concepts are not clear. You see the difference? They are still criticizing you, they're still saying the same thing, that you need to improve your maths, but you see how it kind of works for you as a person. Or you could be the kind of person who says, I don't really care, mom can say it, or sir can say it anywhere, any given point of time, I don't really care, that kind of thing. So if those things don't matter to you, then maybe, having these kind of feedback capabilities may not be that important for you. So you also have to make sure that all these things that I'm saying also fit into your own personality, and then there is a synergy in both ways, right? Going on to the next thing, I'm sure the next question is, ma'am, where do we go and find these mentors? Kahan milenge, kahan dhoonde inko? So children, it is a tough question, very, very tough question to answer, but to make it simple, because your young children, your experiences and your so-called social setup is only as much. Most of your friends are either your friends, or mummy's friends, or daddy's friends, or family friends, or neighborhoods, things like that. The professional part of your career, that is still yet to kind of develop, and you're still to walk that path. So look for people who are not mummies and daddies, immediate family members. I personally would suggest that they shouldn't have, because you see what happens is, I'm a mother, right? No matter how much I mentor my son, a motherly part of me will always constantly be on the lookout to say, oh, he needs to do this. And I will probably be extra protective about him. I'll probably, not wanting to take as many risks. But a person who is outside of the family, will probably gauge you for the person that you are, and not kind of shortchange you in any way to say that, with some kind of a preconceived. I'm a mother, no matter what, I will never be able to tell my son that, oh, aap ye jaake kar lo at 10 o'clock in the night, don't do this or don't do that, or take a risk. Okay, you put in money over here, put in money. As a mother, I'll never be able to do it, because I'm innately born with that sense of security and protection for my children. Same goes for daddies, right? So ideally, get the mommies and daddies out of the picture. Maybe a interesting uncle and aunt, maybe a distant cousin, maybe a senior in the school that you really look up to, and of course the factors that I've told you before, you need to respect them, etc. Keep those in mind. Or it could be maybe one of your teachers, maybe it could be, and not necessarily a class teacher. I mean, it could be somebody, maybe you go for extra classes, you have a music teacher, you're learning to play the piano, and they kind of understand you as an individual and you get mentored by them. Or it could be a sports teacher, depending upon whatever kind of lifestyle that you have in terms of school life. I think that would decide a lot. And they usually come with specific skill sets, but it also again depends on what is the agenda of your mentorship. What exactly are you looking to get mentored for? I think that again should answer a lot of questions for you, where to find these mentors. Okay, coming to the last bit. Uh, what do mentors bring to the table? Now you say, what is the expectation out of a mentor? What exactly will they do for you, right? And I say this with complete confidence that all of us need mentors. All of us, none of us, when we walk into this world, come with guidebooks in hands. Neither do our parents, nor do we know what to do and how to go about it. Every person's journey is different. Every child is different. Every experience is different. Every requirement is different. Every agenda is different. Every goal is different. So I think one of the major things that a mentor would bring to the table is creating a customized goal plan for you, because their focus is you. They're not interested in whether your sibling does well, whether your friends do well, or Chacha ji ka beta does well, or anybody else for that matter does well. For them, it is all about you. The reason they are interacting with you, the reason they are spending time, energy, and effort into you is because your success matters. So they create a sort of customized plan only for you. That, okay, if I am a student, my name is Ritika Singh. So what is it that they can do, and create a goal plan for Ritika Singh only, that, this is something that I have to achieve. These are my targets. These are my goals. This is a path that I need to walk. So the good thing is, it is not something that is happening at a group level. There is group level mentoring also, but here I would like to stick to one-on-one mentoring. This is the context that I'm talking in. So please, children, make sure that when you are interacting with your mentor, make sure that the plan is customized as well. Because when you go to them, of course they will be asking you questions as to why do you want to be here with me, Ritika? What is it that you expect out of me? What is it that you really want to do? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is it that you wanting me to kind of help you achieve, so to say, right? So in those situations, I need to make sure that these are my goals, my achievements, my standards, my life, everything that works according to my personality, my requirements. So I think this is one of the biggest things that a mentor brings to the table, is a customized plan only for Ritika Singh and no one else. And that really, really helps, because when we usually do a lot of learning, it is usually in a group kind of a setup. You go to school, there is a teacher, there are 40 students, 30 students in class, and everybody's being taught the same thing. A mentor, on the other hand, looks at a bigger picture and a goal which is 100% only for you. That is one of the things. And they also get you give you a growth mindset, because see, at the end of the day, the reason that mentor is in your life is simply because your success is their only agenda, and your success matters. I'm sure that when we are talking here for young students, we're not talking about paid mentorship. We're talking about mentors who are with you because they believe in you, they have faith, they want to give back, they want to invest in you, they want to make sure that you are successful. So those are the only things that are driving a mentor, right? So they will give you that kind of a growth mindset. So they want you to grow, and that's the only interest that they have, and that works perfectly for both of you, right? Apart from that, they help you focus, because you see, when you are in a school setup, there is a maths teacher, she wants you to do great at maths. There is an English teacher, she wants you to have 100% marks in English. There is a music teacher, there's a sports teacher, and there are like multiple teachers all around, and then mommies and daddies, everybody wants you to have a certain thing, right? But basis what you have pre-discussed with your mentor, they are the ones, they will guide you and make you focused and keep you focused in that particular direction, that the one that you want to walk on. So it kind of clears up all the clutter in your life. Okay, these are things I don't want to focus on, these are the things that I want. So they give you that kind of a focus in life, which is super important for us to make sure that we are able to achieve everything that we're wanting to do. So apart from that, I think one of the biggest things that a mentor can teach you or does for you is they shorten the learning curve. Let me give you, I'm going to switch over to my personal story now to give you a context as to what I say. As a young student, of course, I was just good at studies, but never had a mentor. The concept did not exist. We just had, a very over inquisitive uncle or an aunt or somebody would say, "Arey beta, kya kar rahe ho? What is it that you're doing? What subjects are you choosing?" And I'm sure you would ask this question almost every time, but really nobody is interested. They just want to know what you're doing, and that's just about it. I got a mentor at the age of 38 in my life. I was a housewife, and due to certain circumstances, I was thrown into forced into the world of entrepreneurship because of financial issues. And when I walked in there, I was looking for somebody to guide me. I had no idea what content writing was all about, etc., etc. So I reached out to this gentleman. He said, "Okay, fine, you join my company, and we'll try and do something for you." And all these situations happened. And as on today, thanks to my mentor, my learning curve did not just shorten. I probably had a learning curve only because of him. I was a master's in English literature, and I had never done content writing in my life before. He taught me every line. He taught me how to think. He taught me what content writing, the concept, how to go about it. He got me very curated, very selective audiences. He got me clients. He taught me on the job. And at the ripe age of 38, I was mentored, so to say. And to be honest with you, children, as you go along in life, you will see that mentors have a specific role to play. They're never outdated, so to say, but their role in your life will constantly keep changing, right? I loved what my mentor told me 2 years back when I was a full company by myself. I was not just an individual. I had a team of 15 girls, and we were doing 20 other things, not just writing content. And I loved what he said, that Ritika, from now on, you are on your own. I have fed you fish almost every single day for the last 4 years, but now you're on your own because I've taught you how to fish. So that is what a mentor does to you. And I was a kind of individual, because I was a housewife before. My confidence levels were about my project, or the things that I had to do, about the craft that I had, were not very great. Yes, of course, I did the hard work. I was committed. I worked 18, 20 hours a day. All of that, yes, did happen. That will happen in any case. But a mentor does this to you, that they make you like this super confident person. And I'm telling you, children, for me, my mentor taught me not just how to do business, but even about business ethics, about integrity, about business manners, about professionalism, how to be. I would address people. I would just pick up the phone and I would call them. But he told me, no, you have to respect your client's space and time. Try not to address them at so, those little things which we people, when we are thrown into the world of a business, is how you learn. Because when you're a housewife, your mindset is completely different. So you can just pick up the phone, call a friend and say, "Oh, what are you doing?" kind of a thing. That's not how you function with a client. I mean, the client, it has to be professional. Your language changes, your demeanor changes, everything. So those are little things. Even and this is at the ripe age of 38. I'm 45 years today, and thanks to my mentor, coming back to my learning curve, how it got shortened. My company, Content Factory, as on today, has worked with some of the best, clients in the country, some of the best entrepreneurs in the country. We have done business with people in Silicon Valley. We are a team of 15 people now, and I'm telling you that had I done this on my own, I would have achieved this. No doubt about that. Probably because I consider myself to be very hardworking, very committed, very, so to say, good at my work. I'm self-taught, etc. But, this could all have taken me about 15 odd years to do. So, which I learned in 6 years, and I'm on my own as I speak to you. So, I'm sure all of you must be Harry Potter fans. So, let me tell you one thing. Even Harry Potter needed a mentor. And you know who the mentor was? Dumbledore. Right? We know that Mark Zuckerberg, one of the most successful people in the world, you and I probably connected only because of him. He was mentored by none other than Steve Jobs. So it doesn't really matter. Bill Gates was mentored by Warren Buffett. So the point I'm trying to make here is that all of us at all ages in our life, stages in our life, would probably end up. My best thing to do is when I tell my children also, it's like Harry Potter ko bhi Dumbledore chahiye tha. He couldn't have functioned without him. He's Harry Potter, for God's sake. He has all those magical powers and everything. But even he needed a mentor to put and give direction to whatever he had. Sometimes you are so full, sometimes you are so confident, sometimes you are so talented, but you need a mentor to even give that bit of direction. So that brings me to the end of my session. Thank you so much for being patient listeners. And Madhavan, over to you.
Well, Ritika, you've answered so many questions. The minute there was a question, 2 minutes later, you would provide the answer automatically. So this is going to be a tough one. But there are certain questions that kept coming back, and I think I'm going to revisit some of the things that you mentioned, and I'm going to ask you some of those. Nice to revisit it. Some of these questions have come from people who have been watching.
Sure, shoot on.
So you are absolutely, I think you were absolutely spot on when you said that, it doesn't matter what age you are, you need a mentor. One of the first questions that came to us is, what would be the difference between a mentor, a role model, and a teacher?
Wow. Okay. Students will always do this to you. They'll put you in a spot. I mean, we just know how to do that. Okay. I've not done my homework yet, but I'll tell you what the difference is. So, a mentor is somebody who will never tell you what needs to be done. A teacher is someone who will tell you only what needs to be done. Okay. And what was the third thing you said? Is a role model. A role model, I will tell you, is somebody that has done a lot of things right, but I probably do not want to be them. And I will tell you one thing. In my person, I'll give you a personal example to explain what I'm saying. My role model in life is this person called Priyanka Chopra. And not because she's an actress, not because she is a Bollywood heroine or anything. The reason I look up to her is, or I feel she's a role model for a lot of people, especially women, is because of the way she thinks and the way she talks and the way she carries herself and her thought process. Similarly, I am a big fan of Shah Rukh Khan, not again because he's a role model. I don't want to be an actor or an actress, not by a long shot, not by a long shot. So a role model is somebody, the person that you are, looking up to for saying, okay, they've got a lot of things, right? They're doing a lot of things, but you necessarily may not want to be them. I have a lot of other role models in my life, people that I know personally, people that I've met socially. When you look at them and you say, but you don't really want to be them, right? A mentor is someone that you feel more closer to. You may still not want to be a mentor, that person, but you feel more, they're more relatable. You feel more closer to them because they are the ones who invested a lot of time, effort, energy, and they are the ones who are taking your mission forward. Okay, so they are the ones who will probably speak out for you. Priyanka Chopra is never going to say, oh, Ritika is amazing. But yes, my mentor will end up doing that. And a teacher, on the other hand, again, with due respect, they are the ones who are holding the fort right now for the entire country and the education system of the world right now. A lot of respect to them, but teachers are some, people who will tell you what needs. It's a few and far in between that a teacher would tell you. And why I'm referring to a teacher in a school context, I mean, you could have a teacher, even a music teacher for a 35-year-old or a 40-year-old, but I was referring especially to the context of young children, school-going children. The teachers will usually tell you what needs to be done, is to be done. So that I hope that answers your question, whoever asked that, Madhavan.
Yeah, I think so. Just to mention a little incident from my life. I studied classical music, and my guru was, someone who I ended up respecting a lot. But here's the thing, he passed away, and I missed his mentorship. I missed his presence in my life, and that was the reason why I suddenly now for the rest of my life I will always consider a mentor. Which brings me to my second question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't really realize the value of a mentor. It doesn't. It's not just simply a matter of finding the correct mentor. It's also realizing the value of somebody, okay, but only after a certain time has passed. And the one of the things that you mentioned is that you need to respect your mentor. You need to have that respect, otherwise the person may not make a good mentor for you. So how do you reconcile that? How do you work with that sort of a situation?
It is, I think I have this pretty much sorted in my head. And I think it's very simple. Um, what a mentor brings to the table or does to your life, so to say, sometimes, these things are tangible and sometimes they're not so tangible, right? In my case, let us just put it like this. I was a person who had no knowledge, was beginning to put their foot into this world of content writing, single man army, had no idea even how to write an email, had no idea how to put an attachment. He's the one who taught me all of that. And as on today, I stand at so and so place with a team of 15 girls, and we've done some work, we have some great clients, etc. So my journey is pretty much tangible. So as on today, I can look back and say, oh, my mentor helped me with that, right? On the other hand, sometimes these things are not tangible. Let me just give you an example. When a mentor is teaching, and I put a lot of focus for young children on this word called integrity, right? My whole world revolves around that. I'll give you a small example as to when you realize that your mentor has done so much more than you can even thank him for, and not just in terms of growth, in terms of numbers. To give you an example, if you for a young child, if they're saying, oh, I got 70 in maths then, and now I have constantly been getting 97 in maths, so those are tangible things, right? But there will be situations in life. I'll give you an example. I remember for the first time, my mentor, I was talking to a client and I told them that, they said they need a website. I said, okay, I'll get you someone to do it. So I called up this guy and I said, I have a client and he needs a website. So can you take over the project? I wasn't doing websites then. So this guy was, of course, happy. So, oh, thank you, ma'am, for making a reference, this and that, you also get to earn something out of it. So my eyes popped a little. This is my first year of working. So I said, oh, you'll give me also money for it, and he says, yeah, because ma'am, it's a dumb thing, I said, nee, I don't need this money. He's like, no, ma'am, it's a standard, business procedure. There's something that we do. The industry does it, everything. So 10% of whatever the client pays us in the first month, we will pass it on to you. I was damn cool, yeah. And at that point in time, when you don't have money, so the 7-10,000 coming into your accounts just seemed like a big thing. So I remember calling up my mentor and saying, you know what, this is another thing. I got this. And he's like, what are you even thinking? He says, you are not a broker in between. You are here in the ecosystem. You are helping one person get in touch with the other person. You can't be charging them for it. So this is the last time, Ritika, we have, and a kind of a thing followed from him. That was the first and the last day and I called him up and I said, dude, you may want to do whatever your industry standards are, but my standards are different. We don't take that. Now, for me, that has become a way of life. That has become a way of life of my business. Integrity for us is super, super, super important. We place, and the same thing has been downloaded to my team. We ensure that. So these are, some of the things which are not tangible to say in terms of numbers, but they kind of add value. So I think you need to be, as an individual, as a child, a little more aware, self-aware, and know where all what has come from. I think even you go back now, Madhavan, even to your own life, you'll probably be able to very clearly mark areas in your life. Oh, this is something that I learned from this person. This is something that I learned from this person. Necessarily, they all may not be the same people. But, you know what I'm talking about. That, oh, this person, this random uncle ever once visited. I always say that my values for family ethics, family, togetherness, this whole bonding between a family came from my mama, who just mentioned that, you guys need to make sure you're all together. And I lost my father at a very young age, and it was me, my younger brother, and my mom, and he very well told us that the three of you need to stay like that, and then nothing can break you. So my first lessons in family values came from my mama, not even from a parent or anything. These are random things, which are, so when you're looking specifically at a mentor, this is one person that you're looking up to. So everything they do, you probably have a chart somewhere in your mind where you say, okay, I learned this from him. But overall, if you see as a picture, you probably are learning a lot every day from different places. So I think it's a good idea every 6 months to sit,
Take stock.
introspect, yes, and take stock of the situation. Okay, how I changed as a person, what is still left, and where has what come from, and how much does it need to be developed. So I think that will give you answers to your question.
My next question, Ritika, is probably coming from a parent because you use the word mentorable.
Yes.
So, how does one make oneself mentorable?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a follow up to that. Or how does one get someone to be mentorable?
Get someone to be okay. So, okay, this is a typical parent question. Maybe a mommy asked that question for sure. Okay, so I started my session with that, saying that there are a couple of tick marks that you need to have in order to make sure that either it is you that becomes mentorable, or somebody that you're talking to, or maybe your son or your daughter or somebody in the family, maybe a sibling, whatever. I think you need to understand their personality overall, and those are again the things that I would go back to. Are they open-minded? Are they flexible? Do they ask enough questions, or do they have a basic level of confidence? Do they take ownership for their actions, and questions like that. So in my case, for example, I have a 17-year-old son, and I had gone through these points with him and told him that he was sitting for an entrepreneurship pitch competition very recently, about a month and a half back. And he says, oh, and I remember everybody from the ecosystem was saying, oh, Ritika, you can do that. I said, no, there's no way I'm mentoring my son. Somebody else needs to take over, because I know exactly what he can do and what he can't do. And maybe sometimes I have a veiled, perception of that, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, I'm a mother. So I think these are traits. If you're wanting to be mentorable at any given point of time in your life, I think these are some of the things that you need to do. Feedback and criticism, super, super, super critical. If you're not the kind of person who can say, oh, Madhavan, you're looking at the screen like that, that is not a good thing. And you may want to say, oh, there are two ways that you can react. You can say, oh, I probably will change my expressions immediately, or you can say, I don't care. And you probably will feel bad and never interact with me again. So you need to figure out, your own personality traits, and to know whether you are. And you would know it, I think, when you ask these questions. Maybe if you really feel that you could ask a close friend these questions. Sometimes we don't even have correct perceptions about ourselves. So that helps, if you can ask maybe a family member or a sibling, or mommy or daddy or someone else in the family to help, that am I like this, and then probably with these personality traits, some of these can be learned skills. So yeah, that can be done.
That was actually quite well answered, Ritika. Now, this also seems to be coming from a parent. Connecting between a mentor and a student successfully sometimes is very, very difficult because you don't know where to find a mentor. So, how would you solve that issue?
So, Madhavan, it's the same answer to my question, is that, mentors are, I don't somehow believe in this concept. I mean, I was reading up, a couple of months earlier, saying that you don't find a mentor finds you. No, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. People will offer help to you, and it is up to you what status you want to give to them. My current mentor, or my mentor of the last 6-7 years, just tried to help me out as an individual. I just picked him up and put him on a pedestal. I said, okay, no, you do this also for me, you do this also. And it's not that we didn't even define the word mentor. I think the first time I probably called him or addressed him or spoke to someone else that, oh, I have a mentor, or so-and-so is my mentor, was probably 4 years down the line. I didn't even address him in that. I didn't even look up to him. So these are sometimes things that happen subconsciously in your head, right? So finding one.
Right.
Maybe you're already interacting with them. Maybe Madhavan is my mentor. As on today, I'm talking to him, I'm having a conversation, we build this relationship, and we go forward. And who knows, subconsciously within 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, sometimes you don't define the word mentor mentee. It just kind of is a subconscious level connect that you have. You will get to know, you will feel a certain connect with the person. The vibe will be great. You will start using them as sounding boards, that, oh, Madhavan, I had this idea, I thought I'll pick up the phone and give you a call. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Oh, you start discussing issues of your life. So it happens at a very, very subconscious level. Sometimes it is not so, like I like
Right.
to word strategize, so to say. So you'll have to figure this out. There's a lot of onus on the mentee here, fortunately, unfortunately, where we need to know that what are the kind of people that are can be our mentors, and are we those people which are right for them, kind of a thing. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Ritika. That was the last question that we had for tonight. Thank you. It was a wonderful, wonderful session, and that brings us to the close of the Q&A session.
Thank you so much, Madhavan. It was a sheer delight to be with you.
Can we have the switchover, please? Hi, Avinash. Can we switch over video so that we can? That was a very, very wonderful session with Ritika Singh, especially enlightening session. This is the one topic that usually goes unnoticed until the need really arises. But everybody needs mentors, and it doesn't matter what age you are. Mentoring is so important. Once again, Ritika, thank you for being with us this evening. And of course, you have all been a wonderful audience. The conclave will continue with several other eminent speakers in the following 2 weeks on a daily basis from 6:30 p.m. onwards. Tomorrow, we have Soumya Khandelwal, a National Geographic photographer working on human interest stories, speaking on the elemental basics of photography tomorrow, again, 23rd of August from 6:30 p.m. onwards. The day after tomorrow, which is Monday, we have Prashant Vishwanathan, who is a well-known visual storyteller who will be speaking about what's in your bag, a checklist for the new age photographer. Also, again, from 6:30 p.m. On Tuesday, we have Sohini Dutt, a producer and television anchor with CNBC TV 18, speaking about camera etiquettes in an on-screen world. This is on the 25th of August, again at 6:30 p.m. On the 28th of August, Dr. Pooja Vijay Sukija will be sharing her knowledge on presentation excellence, the secrets of speaking powerfully. You can register for all of these webinars at pmglive.in/photo_microsite. This concludes our third session of the Objective Students Education Conclave by HPN Intel in association with Better Photography. And we have many more sessions coming up every day at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. So do tune in. Once again, the link for registering is pmglive.in/photo_microsite. Thank you all for watching and have a great evening ahead.